Okay, we'll get to this. So Kanan, we know, is on his way to Maryland. And I'm gonna say some theories here, but I don't know for sure if what I'm saying is gonna be the truth, and I want the commenters, the community, to chime in a little bit, and correct me if I'm wrong. But from my memory, I believe that in the original Power, after Kanan fights Ghost for the first time and Ghost burns him, and then, he comes back alive like a Marvel villain. And then, in the in the next season, we see him with Jukebox. I believe they were in Maryland when that happened. But like when, I believe he went to Jukebox and visited her in Maryland. And, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that. So I say that to say this, Kanan is going to Maryland, and I can totally see him spending some time there, in the next season, and sort of, learning a few things. Maybe he learns, to become a better dealer and everything like that in Maryland. And, maybe he establishes some sort of life there and meets some people, and maybe Jukebox even comes to visit him at some point, and then they build some sort of connections out in Maryland. So that's a little theory I have. And yeah, so I guess this question is really, do you think we're going to see some of Kanan's life in Maryland, in season 2? And do you have any thoughts about, what his journey might be, while he's there and everything? So, Richard, I'm going to go to you first. What do you think of that?
That's a very good question. I think a lot of that, I think, is a wild card because you're not really sure how it's going to play out. I kind of feel like, again, it's a situation where you're going to a new place thinking that you can escape everything that's happened in life previously, but eventually it catches up to you because your family is still heavily involved in this. Now, the question that I would say is, I'm not sure if my assumption is that he's going to visit his grandparents and stay with them. I know that there was a rumor that came out a while ago that 50 Cent was actually going to be playing his grandfather, and that is probably who you'll see if he was to ever go back there. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but my guess
That
is
would
that
be hilarious. Like,
yeah, it would be hilarious. But I heard that a long time ago that's how he was going to put himself on this show. I don't know if that's accurate. So again, commenters, don't shoot me because this is not no confirmed information. This is just the stuff that I've heard. But what I will say is, it's going to be if I had to make a guess, it's going to be a situation where he goes there, tries to basically have a normal life, staying around with family that is there, and again, still being called back into the game. And there could be some people already in Maryland that are already starting an operation or already have an operation going on that he somehow gets involved in as well. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. I'm also curious, how long is he going to stay there? Is this going to be something where he stays there the whole duration of the next season? Or if it's only for half of the season and then the other half as like a mid-season, finale or whatever, that's when you see him coming back. So it's a lot. It can go in many different directions. But my guess is that, once again, he's going to try to escape that life. But again, he's going to get pulled right back in because all his family is involved in this stuff. And there's no way that he's not. And of course, we know that he's very intelligent. He's always able to think about how to do things in this drug game from a business standpoint. So even if he was to try and get away from it, he's going to still have ideas on how to do this because this is what he's been taught. His mom has supported him in this. So, yeah, we'll see how it pans out. But obviously, he can go there and lay low, but I don't think he's going to be there for long. And yes, we're going to probably see a little bit of him trying to adjust to life there, but I don't think he's going to be there for too long.
Yeah, and if assuming he is going to be in Baltimore or something, which is in Maryland, we know that there's a big drug economy there as well. So I do think it will be a chance for him to learn more, because we saw him making a lot of mistakes in this season when he tried to do certain things. So maybe like this will be where he really learns. And you know, sometimes you learn things better when you're learning it from someone other than your parents. So maybe, you know, it will be a case of this where he learns to become a better, drug dealer, away from his mother's influence. So so yeah, that could be something. But what do you think, Dana? Do you think we're gonna see his life in Maryland?
I think we are, and I think Maryland is going to become a large staple in his life, and not only just his life, but also with Jukebox. My whole situation, I can't figure out, I can't pinpoint it. But remember when the adult Kanan was burnt and his guts was hanging out and he was a hot mess and he returned to go to his cousin and she kind of helped him? I don't know what state that was in, and I don't know if that was Maryland. Um, but I do feel like he will make that kind of his second home, and that'll also it will bring Jukebox there with him. If you've kind of seen, they support each other. I'm not going to say inseparable, but they always seem to come back to each other at this point. And I think that they really need each other. And when not Raquel, when Jukebox is able to tell the full story, because I think she has the full breadth and understanding of what Raquel was really able to do by using Kanan and, you know, the whole setup with the jacket and the plan, because she knows everything. That's why when we saw her, she hasn't returned home in days after getting assaulted by her father. So you have that coupled with other things. She needs a place to go as well. So I do think that they're going to end up going and finding each other, and she's going to stay up there with him. And I do feel that she's the one who's going to be the catalyst to tell what really happens and what's really going on with his mother. And that because of that, meaning Kanan may not want to return home right away. I mean, it's not just the fact that, you know, your mom killed D-Wiz. Your mom set you up to kill Howard. Now, Unique doesn't know the actual relationship between Howard and Kanan, but I think this is something that's eventually going to happen, whether it's through Howard himself or it's through someone else. Because everyone, it was weird how you remember how it was originally, I forgot the man's name, who was originally the father, and how they kind of worked. DEFCON, thank you. I just feel that if Howard can do the math, so can other people. And I don't know who's in Maryland. I don't know if it's grandma. I don't know if it's cousin Pookie and them. I don't know if it's Sophia. I don't know if it's, you know what I mean? I don't know who's in Maryland who is able to also talk to him as well. So I really feel that he's going to eventually find out, especially with Unique, because Unique is with Jukebox, and she's extremely smart and she's able to put things together. So he's going to want to create whatever it is that he has going, whether with the business side of the drug dealing, or actually, I don't see him being a corner boy, but build up whatever kind of reputation that he had in New York, because we've seen what he was able to do in New York. That's not something that he wants to get rid of. You know, he had that spark and that glimmer from the very first season when he was, you know, shooting with his mom, and we saw how happy he was. So I really think that this is something he wants to continue. No matter he can move to Timbuktu, he still wants to do this. So I believe that that is what's going to happen. I honestly lost control of what was the original question.
Just, you know, whether you think we'll see, you know, his life play out in.
Yeah, well, I think, like I said, it's going to be a large part of his life. I think that is where he comes back. It's a place where he establishes himself. It's a place probably where he'll feel the most secure. He's going to be very angry at his mom, so he's not going to return there until we get that big showdown. I still think that he kills her, because remember, he never mentions his mom as an adult, right? We don't know anything about his past. We don't know anything, especially someone like Mom. We see Tommy's mom all the time, and we've seen Ghost's mom all the time. Where's Kanan's mom? Because he killed her. Which also, another thing, is why he's so easy to kill Sean. So you killed your mom, and go kill my kid. So Yeah, he builds a life that he's able to have. And he and Jukebox come together and build their lives there, which is why he's comfortable with coming back. Not to say that it actually is Maryland where she lives, because I don't know. They're really scarce of details. But it is a place where he comes to later on when he's all fiery and his guts are hanging out. Because it ends up kind of being his second home. Rant over.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, you know, he'll get recruited by Avon Barksdale while he's out there. So
I was gonna make the connection too. I'm like, Omar is gonna come and like scoop him up and teach him.
but yeah,